Alright guys, we're almost ready to take the transmission out. Just gotta do a couple things first. I unplugged everything already, but there's several plugs. You can see one there, there was one up here, there's one on the other side of the engine, or on the other side of the transmission I should say. I can't really get a good view of it. Had to remove the exhaust, and the drive shaft is out, as you can see right there in the driveway. So one thing we gotta do is we gotta bleed all the clutch fluid out, because this is a hydraulic clutch. Now, do yourself a favor, if you're ever doing a transmission job, get a remote bleeder line. This thing comes in handy because you could do it by yourself. You could stick it out from under the car. If not, you have to do it from up top here, which is horrible. So I suggest getting one of these remote lines. Now, I already drained out the master cylinder, but still there's one more part to disconnect, and that is this. This goes from the clutch master cylinder into a line that goes up into the transmission to the slave cylinder. So you have to take that off. Now, last time I did this, I replaced the master cylinder and the slave cylinder, so I had it disconnected up there. This whole thing came out. I'm going to disconnect it here, get a little pan ready, and stick this somewhere out of the way, and then we can start unbolting the transmission. Now, if I remember from last time, you can just grab this with a pair of needle nose, give it a pull, and that'll pull out. Okay, brought the pan over, so hopefully this thing just pulls out like so. Maybe pull a little more. There we go, a little extra. So that's what that thing should look like. This little tab right here, and then that'll pull out. And then you're disconnected from the transmission completely. Now this stainless line, that's just going to come out with it. Nothing we could do about that, which is fine. Yeah, now we could start trying to wrestle this thing out. Put this little tab back in. Alright, so next we're going to go on to loosening. Actually, we're just going to take these bolts out. They're holding the rear of the transmission up, because we need to get to the top of the transmission, the bell housing. There's two bolts up there, and the only way to get to them is to rock the transmission down. But anyway, these are 16mm bolts, so you're going to loosen them. Make sure you have a jack underneath here, because this thing will come crashing down. And the only thing that it's going to hit is the oil pan. So if you're just doing a clutch or a slave cylinder or any of that, make sure you have a jack under here and bring it down slowly, because like I said, the oil pan is going to hit the steering rack, and you don't want to destroy that, because then you have to pull the whole engine to get that thing out. Stand by, we're going to get this out. Well, get this down, get the transmission jack under it, and get this thing ready to come out. Okay, so I don't know if you can see way in the back there. Let's see if I can get my finger to point it out. Looks like you might be able to get it from the top of the engine if you take everything off of it. But yeah, there's three bolts up there. There's one up there. Like, yeah, let's see if I can point them out. So there's one right there. There's one there. And there's one on the other side. So if you're just trying to get the transmission out, this is the only way to do it. You got to lower the transmission, rock it back, and then you get like 45 extensions, and just zip them up there, and good luck. Let's get that done. Alright guys, real quick, something you may want to do, when you pull the drive shaft out, it's wide open there. So when you try and struggle this thing out, as you can see, transmission fluid is going to want to come out. So if you want to drain it, there's your drain, that little hole. It says drain right there, drain. Yay. So yeah, just a 3/8 drive and break it free. And that is it. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of fluid in there. So that'll save you a couple pounds of struggle and prevent you from getting douched out the back end. I remember that from last time. And there's also a sticker on the other side of the transmission that tells you the fluid that goes into this manual transmission. It is a Dexron 3, I believe. So let me, when I get the transmission out, I'll check that sticker out, because right now it's covered by the jack. And I'll confirm that for you. So anyway, let's go to getting this transmission out. It is a They're all 1/2-inch bolts that go all the way around, so no silly meters. The 13mm is a little loose, 1/2-inch not loose. I got my 45 socket extensions over there ready to go. And we're going to start with the top 3 bolts and we'll get this transmission out. Alright guys, we're going to loosen up these couple bolts here. I'm going to mainly get this one up here and then one you can't really see down here because the jack's blocking you. I'm going to leave this middle one in until we get the other side done. So let's see if we can knock this out. Not ideal, get a lift. Get a lift. Okay, so we go. So there's one. And then we're going to get the one right there. One right here. Alright guys, moment of truth. Let's got all the bolts out of the transmission. Let's see if we can just slide that thing out. Get it out from under the car. I may have to take the bell housing off. I probably will. And then kind of push it. We'll get to that when we get to that point. So let's get underneath and start fighting this thing out. But just real quick. I got extra protections. I got a jack under the front cradle. Jack stands under the front cradle. And I also got jack stands under the subframe connectors. And one under the differential, the jack. Just protect my sorry ass in case this thing comes down, because you do have to fight this thing out a little bit, as you will witness. Maybe it'll just come right out, who knows, probably not. But let the struggle begin. As you can see, the bolts are all out on this side. And I got the other ones out too, so let's see if we can fight this. So just to show you guys, right here, there's a little pry point. There's one on the other side, same spot, and there's one in the bottom. So if you're having trouble, stick a couple pry bars in there and start wiggling. That's probably what I'm going to do to start, just to get it loose. A little movement there. A little movement there. There we go. That's what I like to see. A little movement. Let's see what we get up in here. I think we got it clear. I don't hit the clutch. Yeah. Look at that. Now we just got to battle the input shaft. That's at least kind of half the battle. Oh, we got it. So that's a slight little problem. That's okay. Let's see if we can just get this thing back more. Just don't want to drop it too far onto the transmission. Let's see. Alright guys, transmission's out. I'm going to take this bell housing off so I can make this thing a little smaller to get it out from under the vehicle. These are 15mm bolts, and looks like there might only be 6. 1, 2, oh, there's one up there. 1, 2, 3. There's either 6 or 8. I can't tell what's underneath here. So there's either 3 on each side, or there's 3 and 2 on the bottom. But I'm going to hit that off with a 15mm socket. 1. Got that one. Alright guys, got the transmission out. So the bell housing was, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts holding the bell housing on, which allowed us to not have to take this off. Either way, those are 10mm bolts for the sleeve cylinder. This is going to be sitting out for a little bit, so that's going to be okay. I drained the fluid. The only thing you really want to do is just cover up the holes, make sure no critters get inside. So yeah, other than that, this thing is going back in the way it is. I'm going to try and clean it up the best I can and maybe paint it if I got time. There's really no timetable on this, so I might, or just clean it up and shine it up. So that's it for the transmission removal. If you have a lift, use it, instead of doing it like a JO like me. So anyway, next video, engine out. And then we can start messing with that and all that fun stuff. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, watch what else goes on with this thing, and I'll see you in the next one.